Hey everyone, it's another edition of Unbreakable. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me today. It is Wednesday, Up Day, September 27th. Almost through the month of September already. Hey, we got some interesting stuff to talk about today. First of all, I want to say congratulations to the Phillies. They made the playoffs again, and they're going to be the home wild card team starting next week. Best out of three series in Philly. We don't know who we're playing yet. It could be Arizona, it could be the Cubs. Uh, we'll see. But the boys were partying last night. I think there'll be a few hangovers on the field today. But anyway, it's fun. You know what? Philadelphia, the organization, the Philadelphia Phillies, have lost more games than any sports organization ever. Ever. That includes baseball, football, hockey, basketball, blah, blah, blah. More, more losses. In 139 years that the Phillies organization has been around, this is only the 16th time that they made the postseason. 16 out of 139. Talk about losers. But they're still my Phillies. And we'll see if we get back to the World Series this year. It's going to be another red October in Philadelphia. As much as I want to go to game 3 next week, I have tickets next Thursday. I would gladly pass on game 3 if the Phillies won the first 2 games of the series next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. But we'll see. In case there is a game 3, God willing, I'll be there. Anyway, so congrats to the Phillies. Some interesting things today going on. I heard a report on the news yesterday, which was just fascinating. Did you hear about this? It's about how artificial intelligence, AI, is getting us closer to communicating with animals. Now, this is fascinating to me. I never thought of this. I thought of AI helping with, I don't know, computer stuff, electric cars, maybe, things like that. I never, ever thought about the possibility that it could help us communicate with animals. Bud there, he's chilling out on the rug. Is it possible one day that I'll be able to talk to him back and forth? I mean, would it be possible for there to be like, instead of like having an Alexa in our house, we could have another sort of robot that we ask that picks up sounds of the dogs and translates the sounds into so we can understand it and we can have a conversation with Bud. To me, that's fascinating. Well, you know what? From what I've learned, we're not that far away. Um, on this show, we've talked about the concept of flying cars, and there's actually flying cars being built. We know we don't hear about it only on the show, but they say possibly before 2025, 2027, there might be flying cars starting to be produced. That's amazing. But it would be unbelievable if we could communicate with animals. And apparently, that's not too far away. For one thing, 2 scientists at the University of Tel Aviv in Israel have been doing research, and they wrote up their findings in current issue of Current Biology, the August 2023 issue. Current Biology. And it's very interesting. There's also work being done by an organization called Earth Species Project and Interspecies internet. And they are all doing this research. And it all goes back to AI. Well, what's happening is they're picking up different sounds from animals, dogs, dolphins are very smart. They're really working with dolphins a lot because dolphins are very smart. Chickens, they have identified sounds of chickens. And somehow they identify 6 different emotions and feelings that chickens have, such as fear, anxiety, love. Yes. What's happening is they record all these sounds of all these animals. We haven't been able to crack the code yet to what one sound means and another sound means. They're doing an extensive research too with prairie dogs, and they have determined, these scientists, that there are signals that prairie dogs give out. There are specific words or sounds that mean hello, warnings, like if a human with a blue or yellow shirt goes through the prairie dog lane or whatever you call it, that prairie dogs emit a certain click or whistle or something, to say to their fellow prairie dogs, look out, there's a human out there. It's very interesting. But here's the thing. The scientists are telling us we may never get to the point where we can actually have a conversation with Bud, with your household cat. And the reasons are because AI may be able to help us pick out the sounds, categorize them. So we can eventually crack the code, and we know a specific sound means fear, another sound means excitement. We may be able to do that. So we may be able to understand what an animal was trying to say to us. That's important because that will help with conservation. So if we can understand languages of birds, for instance, we may be able to, if we know what the birds are telling us, that it's global warming is killing us here, or, we may be able to help them that way. Same way with dogs and cats. We may be able to eventually decipher the code, and we know what they're trying to tell us. The problem is we will never, according to these scientists, actually be able to know how an animal feels. For instance, to give the example of a dolphin. Dolphins may have different words than we do. We drink. Dolphins don't drink. They obtain most of their water through the fish that they eat. Breathing is different, of course. So sitting, we sit. Dolphins can't sit. So the word sit wouldn't mean anything to a dolphin. So we have to crack that language. Just like, we've been able to understand French or Spanish or Italian. Animal communication, animal language, according to the scientists, is far more complex, far more difficult to understand. So even though we may not get to the point where Bud and I can have a conversation, at least someday, possibly soon, I may be able to know what Bud is trying to tell me. I mean, we kind of do now, to be honest with you. I know when Bud needs to pee, he'll run to the back door, right? It's like your pet. If an animal is hungry, maybe your pet goes near the refrigerator and gives you these messages. So every day, my pets give messages. You just have to pick up on the message. What good is the message if you're not picking up on it, right? So you just have to keep an open mind and keep your eyes open and pick up on their message. That's maybe the best we could do until these scientists and artificial intelligence helps us out. But it's very fascinating to think of, and to think that it may not be that far away where we'll be able to better communicate with our furry friends out there. So, uh, I want to live longer, and hopefully I will, because I just see so much exciting stuff on the horizon. Think about it. Back in the 80s when I was in college, I mean, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have computers or cell phones. And just in a matter of 30, 20, 30, 40 years, how much technology, new technology, has entered my life. Well, think about it. Within the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, what the technology is going to be like compared to now. It's amazing. And if I'm not around to see it, hopefully my nephews, nieces, people like that will be around to see it. So it's amazing stuff. Well, I'm going to hit the road, and I hope you guys have a good day. I found this at the drugstore. By the way, I just got my COVID shot, my COVID booster. So I'm feeling good. I can't tell anybody what to do with their life. Your body, all I can do is express how I feel and what's good for me. What's good for me is to get the shot, because I believe in science, and so far it's kept me healthy. Thank God I've survived through the pandemic and didn't get sick. And all I can say is, I'm doing well. So got the booster today. I should be good to go, hopefully for another year. So, but while I was at the drugstore getting my shot, I came up with this little goodie. Look at it. Reese's peanut butter bar. Yeah. I love peanut butter cups. I haven't had a peanut butter cup in years. But if you go into a grocery store, you see the bags of candy are now out for Halloween. And, you go like anything the day after Halloween, everything's going to be 50% off. My Uncle Henry used to do that. He would never get candy before Valentine's Day or before Halloween or before Easter. He would get it the day after because he would say, "Oh, what the hell? It's still good candy. Oh, it's still good candy, but it's half price." But I haven't had a peanut butter cup in years and years because I try to stay away from candy as much as I can. But when I saw this little thing, a Reese's peanut butter bar. First of all, I love peanut butter. There it is. I said, I got to try this out. Now, of course, I'm not going to eat all 12 pieces. It's an extra large. Jesus, God. I wouldn't be able to push the chair. But I may indulge and have one piece a day and try to stretch it out for the next 12 days. Anyway, so we'll see. So while I'm enjoying that, oh, by the way, today there's a long list of days today, but my favorite is today is National Chocolate Milk Day. Chocolate Milk Day. I used to love chocolate milk when I was a kid. You know how we got it. Now you can get it in the bottles or whatever. You pour it out. But back in the day, I used to get the box of Nestle Quick. Remember that? Quik. And it was a powder. And it was in a box. And you got the end of a spoon and you flipped off the tab there and it came open. And you put like 2 scoops in your cold milk, stirred it up. Talk about good. Nice cold glass of chocolate milk. Goes good with a bologna sandwich and a pickle with mustard, let me tell you. So if you get the opportunity, get yourself some chocolate milk and celebrate today. Anyway, I'll be back again, hopefully tomorrow when I have something else to talk about here on the podcast Unbreakable. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show and have a good chat with your pet today. See you next time. Bye bye.